Okie dokie, I am here, just as Sky Sanctuary is playing. To answer your question first, Advisor, I am aware of yet another Castlevania patch. I wasn't aware that any was necessary after the last couple. I feel like the last one that came out, the one that didn't require the RAM cart, was complete enough. I don't see... I guess I don't really see the hype with the new one. I don't see what it adds. But that's... 976. Oh, I forgot. You're on a... You're in a different time zone, Koda. I forgot. Okay. Well, we're already starting on the help. mrkotfw was asked me to stall for about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short 10-minute intermission while I play some content that now I legally own. So let's do that instead. Just let me... There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing some LibYaul stuff tonight, but mrkotfw is still kind of getting ready to get on stream, so in the meantime, I will be talking over this this piece of media that we now all legally have the rights to use in any way we wish. I see Knight0fDragon has made it into chat. Okay, well, I guess he doesn't feel like talking, so whatever.
Can you not hear me?
Oh, I can now.
Alright.
So, yeah. I was playing around with the idea of making a Steamboat Willie game just for the memes, and I feel like the time involved would not be worth it, because I really do not care about Mickey Mouse at all. But it is fun that I'm able to do this without any repercussions. I'm sure there's a meta on Twitch right now. I don't really watch Twitch, I just participate in it. I'm sure there's a meta right now where people are just streaming this 24/7, that and everything else that came out in 1928.
I'm actually surprised Disney let it go to public domain.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was waiting for a last minute buying out like 49 senators to get this fixed. But now they have the caveat that like they own Mickey Mouse as a concept every time they make a new cartoon of him, despite not fundamentally changing anything about the character. So right now we're only allowed to use this version of it, and I don't know what that really entails. Like, if you colorize him, is that suddenly a copyright infringement? If you give him the voice that we all know about, because he doesn't have a voice in this thing.
I don't even think you could use the name Mickey Mouse, because isn't that still trademarked?
Well, Mickey Mouse is on this, he's on the title card. It's Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie. That's like the first thing that comes up. So, like, a trademark is not the same thing as a copyright protection. Like, a trademark, I cannot use Mickey Mouse to, like, sell something, I guess, in the same way that Disney uses Mickey Mouse to sell stuff, I think. I think that's the kind of protection they have, and I don't know that there's, like, a lifetime or limit on that. I'm not a lawyer. But as far as just saying, hey, I put Mickey Mouse into a game, that's fine. It's like Disney made Hercules, right? And their version of Hercules is what they own. So if I try to draw Hercules like they drew Hercules and gave him the same character traits that they had in the movie, I'd probably be in trouble. But if I just made a Hercules TV show, except I forgot the name of the actor, replacing that actor with someone younger, there shouldn't be any problems. Crap, how do I not know the name of that actor?
Are you talking about from the cartoon? Are you talking about Kevin Sorbo?
Kevin Sorbo, yeah. So like Kevin Sorbo having that TV show doesn't conflict with Disney making that cartoon movie. So like there's the trademark is a hyper specific method of protection there. So in the same way, Mickey Mouse is now part of our American mythology now that it's close to a century old. So we can all make versions of Mickey Mouse based off of this without infringing on someone's trademark. In the same way that they're like every year there's like 2 new Sherlock Holmes shows. Gee, Mr. Coffee's taking a minute. So what I found interesting is that Mickey doesn't have his gloves yet, despite like the clear minstrel show inspirations that are happening here. So like that song has a very recent history, and usually when they're making these cartoon characters like that, they're using a lot of minstrel show tropes, and that includes like the gloves and the dressing up and stuff like that. And I think on the title card he still had his gloves. I'll go check after we're done with those, or once Mr. Kotfw comes up, whenever that happens. Advisor, I have what is that emote? Palleted to leave? I don't follow. Is that like a cat just taking a... Looks like a 6-pack of beer or something. I can't tell. The icon is too small. Like, this entire cartoon is just animal cruelty, right? Like, everything that he's doing is he's just like abusing animals. I thought there'd be like a story to this or something. So that's not Bluto. That's like some sort of cat thing. I don't think that... Does that character have a name? Angry Grump. I thought Angry Grump was Ego Raptor. Okay, let's go back to the title card just for sanity check. Yeah, he's got the minstrel gloves on and the hat and cane and everything. And I guess Minnie Mouse has... Is she called... She's not called Minnie Mouse yet. She's like other... She's like female mouse. Female mouse has a weird bra thing, which makes it weird that she stops wearing it at some points during this cartoon. No, she's got it there. She just kind of disappears from the story. Like she's just there cranking their goat, which sounds like an innuendo, and then she's just gone the whole time. Yeah, people were a lot more easily entertained in the 20s. Anyway, what we're actually here for today, what I promised to do, is get set up on LibYaul. Mr. Kotfw still needs a few more minutes. I don't know what's going on there, but let me get the tunes back on. Let me see if I can... freaking... Every time I'm dealing with these audio issues, let me change the output. There you go. It's a little on the loud side. Well, they didn't have TV. You had to go pay like a nickel and tie an onion to your belt to go to the theater to go watch this as like a preview to like a movie that probably didn't have words in it or something, which was the style at the time. Yeah, so like people paid money to see that. Like, I don't think TV came out for another 20 years after that or something like that. Okay, we're actually here to do this today. Now, officially, you should be able to go to yaul.org and click Get Started, and then read these instructions. Barring that, if for some reason the instructions are not there, you go to the tutorial, and you click Hello World, and yeah. So then you just go over, you click the little GitHub link down there on the bottom of it. Well, is it not showing up? Let me, there you go. Little GitHub doohickey over there. That'll take you to the GitHub page. And now, here's the first thing I tried to do. I tried to follow these instructions. So I downloaded msys2, which is basically, I think it's just a package for MinGW or something like that. Wait a minute, is that the right set of instructions? Yeah. And I tried this separately on my laptop, just to see if I can get it running. I could not get it running. I'm getting instructions that Ponut posted earlier saying, use Danny's Windows 64 installer. So let us go on the internet. I think this is Danny Duarte, but let's just call Yaul Win 64 installer. Wow, okay. Yaul Win 64. There we go. And I think this is a fork of the project or something like that. So let's try this. And so this video, if and when Mr. Kotfw deems to show up, will serve as a guided tour and instruction set on how to get basically to a Hello World type setup in Yaul. And so hopefully we'll go through this slowly and deliberately enough that all the links will be provided in the description for those in chat. This is where I'm at right now. This is Roberto Duarte's, yeah, Danny Duarte's LibYaul package. Up to date as of October. Now one of the reasons I often poo-pooed the LibYaul setup itself, or just using it, rather, is because a lot of things tend to change with active development. It's a living library, so to speak. So I'm going to set up a folder in my game dev local called Yaul. And so we have downloaded, well, it's extracting right now. Give me a second. It's a pretty chunky download. Was it like 220 megabytes or so? Oh boy, there we go. So we've taken the zip file, this one right here for Windows 64, which is any Windows anyone's gonna be using right now. Extract this whole thing out into my Yaul folder. So now my Yaul folder is C Game Dev Yaul. Try to resize this thing. Okay, now let's see. Are there any instructions associated with this? Because it's, or is this just kind of ready to go? All right. This could very well be just like Joe Engine, where he just goes. Is this README actually useful? This is an HTML document, sort of. Yeah, this is the README from the Yaul GitHub. So let's try build? I guess the folder layout would be different. So I added you in my Discord. We should be on the Emerald Nova stream voice channel. I'll at you again. So if you go down the voice channels in the Emerald Nova Discord, you should be. Let's see. Let me check your roles. Oh boy, something weird is happening to my Discord now. Oh, you just joined. Mr. mrkotfw, welcome to the stream. I'm guessing you're setting up your mic. Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna start poking around and exploring. We got clean build and Rodman. Let's double check the emulators and make sure that the emulators are being installed correctly. I noticed there's no BIOS folder in here, so let's run this one time. No command line argument specified. Great, thank you. There we go, firmware. So let's go back over to my Saturn folder. Saturn, Mednafan, and firmware, and let me just copy freaking everything over. I have more firmware than I needed. Oh! I almost heard something. You're gonna have to turn the gain up on your microphone way up. In the meantime, I'll probably turn down the volume on my background music just a hair. Oh no, he's plugging the different receivers into his potato so that his microphone will get connected.
Better?
That's a little better.
Okay.
I mean,
this is the best that I can do. If you can hear me, this is the best that I can do.
Yeah, I've got you cranked up as much as humanly possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Like you're setting up the BIOS, right?
Yeah, I just copied it over to the firmware folder, so I just ran. So yeah, I should be narrating a little bit more because this is meant to be a tutorial to last at least another year or so. So in that the Roberto Duarte zip file that we've extracted here, I went under emulators, Mednafan, and I just ran mednafan.exe. It's not going to do anything because you need to actually send it ISOs and stuff. Ah, good. Okay, good. Our audio is good now. However, it did populate this folder with all the subfolders that we need, including the firmware folder, in which I just dumped all the firmware that I have for Saturn. And it'll probably just grab, like, one of these two. I forget which. The NPR something.bin. And that'll be enough to actually try to run something. So let's go back over to LibYaul Examples, and I want to look at balls. So, balls. We're going to try to build. And let me open up the PowerShell in this folder just so we can kind of see what's going on here at the same time. Now, I think with PowerShell you need to do something silly like do the / in front in order to run anything. Yeah, it's been a minute. How about build?
I think you have to use an ampersand.
Ampersand? No, it's running. I just I thought I could do autocomplete, but it didn't quite want to do it.
Okay, it looks like it's compiling.
It
looks pretty good.
Why is it so slow though? One error.
There's a lot of stuff set up.
Output directory does not exist. Okay.
That's odd.
So, SIG drive. I thought, why are we using SIG when we're supposed to be using MinGW?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Press any key to continue.
Mm-hmm. So presumably it should populate build with. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Try it again.
All right. Should I clean first?
No. Just try it again. Just run build again.
Yeah. Similar error. One error. Output directory does not exist. So where is it trying to output? Let's fix that. VDP1 balls failed, but that's where we're at.
Copy. So where you see it says executing, and then it has the double quotes. That line right there, and it says that this particular command failed. Right. Copy that into the PowerShell. Like that's exactly the command that is failing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Now, how do I can't paste in the PowerShell for some reason. Let me see. Copy. Oh, there we go. So.
Okay. And then press enter.
Now it's wanting me to open a file. Now, what file did I just create that it wants me to open? Oh, I lost it. Let's try again. Just try Notepad for a second. So here's make ISO, the make file that it's generating.
That's the script that creates the ISO.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly sure why you're getting this error. Try to go back. I think it's just how the PowerShell does things. I think you're not Oh, I see.
Well, let's try command prompt then. Can I open command prompt?
Actually, try. It would be better if you try the actual MinW64 shell rather than the command prompt.
But these are batch files, though.
With the command that you just executed is not a batch file. It's a sh script.
Okay.
So
let's
go
up to msys2.
Yes.
User. Okay.
Oh shit. Oh, do you have a copy of msys2?
I was going to download it following the original instructions, but not currently, no. So let's install that first then.
It's so weird that you're getting this error.
I mean, it made an attempt to do stuff, so it's not like I thought the whole thing with the package was that it came with all the compilation tools you needed.
It does. That script that is failing. It's strange why it's failing in the first place.
Okay, so what we did is we downloaded msys2 from this website. Again, all these instructions are going to be available on the YouTube description once this gets uploaded. And I might have to record a little preamble for like making sure everything is set up first. So it's installing. And then let's head back into that folder that we were in. I mean, I could just try run with Mednafen and see what happens. Well, obviously, QISO's not there. Oh, same error.
What did you say the error was? Oh, this output directory does not exist.
Yeah. Things I don't know where this is. So this is up into Yaul and then sh2 ev elf.
No, that's fine. That is the make file that. Sorry, go back. Go back. I need to look at that. 1 second. So that .mk, line 26, that is calling the make ISO, and so I'm looking at the actual script itself, and for some reason it thinks that the path, the output path, does not exist when clearly it does.
Yeah, because we're in it. Because we're trying to make the ISO directly in VDP1 balls, which we are inhabiting right now.
Okay, so I think it, weirdly enough, I think
I was never able to get this to work in command line. I had to do this through the msys prompt itself.
Okay, so that's good information. So now we're here. Now I need to be able to navigate to, I guess, the C drive. Like, where even am I? LS?
You should be within like a home folder within the msys environment.
So okay, but that doesn't. I need to be able to access my C drive. I need to be able to access the stuff inside the computer.
This is technically your C drive. Where did you install the msys stuff?
Directly into the C drive. So C msys 2.
So like open up Explorer.
Yeah. So here, C drive. Oh, sorry, msys 64. So that's where msys just installed. Here.
Man, I haven't touched this in a while. Your home directory is in here somewhere.
I mean, I'm sure it is. It's probably this thing right here.
Oh yeah, that is it right there. Yeah.
So do I need to work out of this directory in order to do anything?
Oh, I believe so. I mean, you gotta talk to Mr. Copy for that stuff.
I mean, he just left a comment saying cd/c. Okay, so this is actually... Mr. Copy, you can talk. All right, it's faster for you to talk than for voice issues. Okay. All right. Well, we'll do this a slow way because you're gonna have major latency on the feed. Okay, let's go to... I don't even want... Right. Was it game dev? Yeah. CD game dev. CD Yaul. CD LibYaul dash CD VDP1 balls. Oh. P. Was it hyphen? Ah, screw it. I'll just find it. Oh, it was LibYaul examples.
Yeah, it's VDP1. No, go into LibYaul examples.
No. Well, I can't type. That's my first problem. Or is it underscore? Am I going crazy? Did I?
Yeah, that's correct.
Permission
Just press
denied.
enter. You know, that might be the reason why you're having that issue with the output directory, that it doesn't exist, because it probably can't read it, so it assumes that it's non-existent. So go back.
Let me see if there's... Why is it read-only, for starters? Special permissions, that's interesting.
That null SID looks kind of strange. So remove the read-only.
Out of here.
Yeah, that's Windows security doing that kind of stuff.
The thing is, I expect that when I work out a Google Drive, but I'm literally in the C drive right now. It shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff.
Go up. Remove that / at the beginning.
Oh.
But that's the thing. Windows protects everything now. Sorry, go ahead.
It's still... Yeah.
Go back to security. Full control.
Bye. Okay. So why is Windows being so difficult with this? Because I know as soon as I open up the properties back up, it's doing it again.
Try
deny. Special permissions denied. Why is this even grayed out? Why is it an option to deny me permissions to my own folder?
Just try it again. See if it works on the terminal.
So I think I just I still can't get into it.
Maybe run the terminal as an administrator.
What, like sudo?
No.
I don't know.
Go back. Where did you launch the MSys terminal?
Let's see.
From there, right? So
right, running as an administrator.
Try the Ming W, not that one.
MinGW?
Yes. And then run as administrator.
Okay, let's try that. CD. Was it C or /C?
Yeah. /.
Okay. CD. Where was it? Game dev /Yaul. Oh, let's try game dev.
No / at the beginning.
Okay. Oh, CD. LS. Okay. Hooey. Okay. CD. LibYaul examples. Now we wanted to be BDP1-balls. Okay, now we're in. This is further than we were before. However, these are a bunch of batch files. So what do we do at this point to try to build?
So I just typed something in the chat. Type exactly that.
Literally exactly that, including
yes.
3 asterisks, the letter T. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot the closing quotes. So that does not seem to be a thing I can do.
No, just type it exactly.
Did he get censored out?
Sorry?
Yeah.
I think those asterisks should not be asterisks.
Oh, did it really get censored?
Yeah, I think he got censored out, man.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
This is
sorry
why.
about that.
Like, if you're gonna type something, type it in Discord or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just type in build.bat. I was wondering why you were typing.
Yeah. So
asterisks.
typing. Yeah, doing this while trying to chat with me through Twitch is not going to be useful. It's you want to be able to just tell me stuff. Okay. So, literally, the only thing that changed here was that we are running mingw in administrator mode. But now I should have, like, if I go back to the folder that we were in, we have an ISO and a queue, which is enough to run a game. So, why is it that this works in here, but it doesn't work when I run it in Windows?
Because previously, the make-iso script checks if the output directory exists. And chances are the test itself returns false because it can't access the actual directory. So then that's why you get that error, because it didn't have the permissions to actually read the root directory, which is LibYaul Examples. So it was a bit of a false positive. So if you run it again, if you go back and you do a make clean and you run the batch file directly, I don't think you're going to have that problem anymore. So you try running clean, not from the terminal, not from that terminal, but just run the bat itself directly. Okay. And then run bat again, or build. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm running it. So I'm looking, and all the files seem to have these corrupted permissions. And also, yeah, same error.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I think
that's so weird.
I think it's not going to be optional. I think I have to work out of mingw.
Okay. Can you run the batch file as an administrator?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at trying to do, and then I started looking at, Windows is telling me the permissions on the build.bat are incorrectly ordered.
From the looks of it, you're not hitting the msys directory. You just want to write to game dev.
I don't follow.
If you run the script again, your main folder doesn't touch msys whatsoever. Wasn't msys in your root directory?
So msys is in the C drive, directly, but I don't know what the root directory is regarding to that, because it's like generating its own fake root directory, like its own virtual Linux directory there, right?
The whole point of having that msys2 inside the YAUL directory is that you have pretty much all the tools you need. So the batch files themselves are actually calling the executables from that msys version. And the only reason why we installed msys again is to have that terminal accessible to you so that you can actually call that batch, you can call the batch script, just in case the command prompt was giving you issues.
So let me try to run this as an administrator first.
Right.
Make is not recognized. That is weird.
I think it might be. I think it's a pathing issue. Can you go up to the YAUL directory where the main one?
And there's msys2.
Sorry, go up one more directory. Sorry, one more. Where you have go to game dev. Okay. Right click on YAUL and go to properties. Okay. Now go to security Okay, just give everybody full control.
Yeah, we tried this earlier. It didn't quite work out. It didn't keep...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But did you try that because this, I think, implies that it's recursive down into all the directories.
I should hope so. So let's try... There wasn't really an editing in everyone here. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't even let me play around with that. It's weird.
It's weird that you have two versions of
users.
The tornado. Yeah, I would remove the one that says read and execute.
Okay. It's inheriting permissions from its parent. Tornado.
This is so weird.
Yes, it is.
The hell?
Right, that I can't. How about replace all?
This isn't some like what do you call it? Virus protection program that does this, right?
It shouldn't be, because I mean, what am I running right now? I'm running geez, what's it called? I'm running Bitdefender, which I don't think does anything to mess with this. And besides that, it would just be Windows Defender. You know what? Let me just turn off Bitdefender.
Yeah.
Is there an option to do that? Because honestly, Windows Defender is good enough.
Yeah.
Advanced. Jeez, how do I just turn things off? Protection. Advanced threats. Turn off advanced threat defense. Hopefully that does it. I'm going to uninstall this later and try it again and see if it doesn't fix things. Move. Now, why? Disable inheritance. Aha. Okay, now everyone should have full control. Apply.
Okay, that looks good.
Why is this so stupid though? This is some Windows nonsense, but this doesn't happen on freaking Joe. I don't know why it's fighting me now.
It probably because maybe the package that Danny created has some weird permissions.
Build. Okay. So part of this tutorial that may be highly situational is that...
Look at that.
Yeah, it just runs. So,
yep.
First note that will be highlighted and time-stamped and all this stuff. With as much power as you can muster to wrestle control from Windows back to yourself, attempt to disable read-only. Barring that not working, and it probably won't work if you're having the problems I'm having, is go to Advanced Security tab, Advanced Permissions, disable inheritance if it's already enabled, and then give everyone full control, because that's basically required in order for any of these scripts to run properly. Now, I will double check to see if the read-only is still there, and this is a problem I've been having with Windows ongoing forever, and I don't know why it keeps doing that. However, it's not stopping me from running these scripts. So let's go back into LibYaul. Go into balls. Clean. There we go. Build. And now we have the Q and the ISO, indicating that the game has been built. Now let's try run with Mendefin, given the fact that the addition that I made to this package is that I ran Mendefin once in order to populate folders for that emulator, and I copied the BIOS into the firmware folder for Mendefin. So Mendefin should be running, or capable of running, just as it does when normally on stream. And let's go ahead and map some keys. Configure buttons Alt-Shift-1. Up, down, left, right, start, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, left trigger, right trigger. Configuration finished. Okay. Can I change the window size on this somehow? Because it's not quite fitting into the...
Yeah, you probably can. You would have to configure the... You'd have to update the config file.
Okay. I'll do that in a minute. Let's turn off the... Okay, so there is one ball. I'm assuming... Oh yeah, pressing A gives you more balls. So, we're... Okay, C resets. Is there an FPS counter or something that's indicating how many frames per v-blank we're getting?
Not really, because the whole point of this test was to try to get as many normal sprites to run without... sorry, I'll repeat. Getting as many normal sprites to run in one cycle mode, which is 60 frames per second. And that transfer over is telling you that every time you exceed that marker, or that counter increases, it means that we've exceeded the time to get 60 frames per second, if that makes sense. So transfer over is an issue where the VDP1 runs after vblank in, and there isn't enough time to actually do a frame change, which causes the VDP1 drawing to be aborted, right? In order to do a frame change.
This is that's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so I wish I could like reset the transfer over a little bit somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, I pressed the start button. That did a full reset. So, Pona, it's not, the emulator is not performance accurate, but it should outperform the Saturn to at least barring anything else. If you see something that it's doing on the emulator, if it's slowing down the emulator, I expect it to slow down in real life.
It's about 10% faster than real hardware.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out at what point does the transfer over start. And that'll tell me how many balls we can fit. I think we're getting closer. What did we have it clocked to last time?
It was like 700.
700?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Someone try to catch it on a clip or a stream or something like that to see what the limitations that Mendefend says is on the Saturn. And I'm sure it's adjusted downward by either 10% or 50%. What's a Mendefend server? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Mendefend doesn't have like a net play option or whatever that I'm aware of. I think Yabause is like the only one that actually lets you use a virtual network card to play online. Yeah, it's just a stress test, and it's a nice example to show that. Oh my goodness! So on my screen it looks like a bunch of balls, but on the stream, I'm getting some severe artifacting from the compression because the video compression is not meant to do this. This is not a good video file. Yeah. So for netplay, if you need to use an emulator, you have to use Yabause, but like from what I've seen, Yabause is such a bad emulator that none of the online games actually run correctly. Like I've tried to play Duke online with it, and I can get online, but I can't see what I'm doing. Really, you just gotta go get yourself a Netlink and a real Sega Saturn. Right now, actually, if you go to the Shiro Media Group, they do offer, thanks to Knight0fDragon and some other people over at Shiro, you can get an affordable Netlink adapter with the USB cable and using the netband USB tunnel and play with other people online. So on the Shiro Discord server, they actually set up all the time requests for netplay with other people on real Sega Saturns. Okay. Please, come on. So yeah, Mendefin is telling me...
They're not talking about Netlink. They're talking about Mendefin's built-in netplay.
Well, I'm not aware of how that even functions, or if it does function. Okay, there we go. Like 1100 is the limit that we're getting here. Okay. So that's going to be one example, and I think just to make my life easier, I would whatever I make I would work out of the LibYaul examples. Or just make another subfolder. I guess I'd call it like projects, and it should still work the same way, as long as it's the same folder structure. Hello_world. Let's try another example. I'm not going to play with C++ just quite yet because that sounds like a can of worms. But
try the DBGIO menu.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one that would probably be the most interesting one for you.
Okay, cool. So let's do a build. And then run with Mendefin. Oh, I forgot to change the default size. Okay. And this, I don't know how you did yours. When I did my JRPG style menu, I ended up doing like references to functions in order to like go from one menu to the next.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I handled it as well.
I don't know what it's trying to say where it says input 2 is being pressed, input... Oh, okay. So it's just which item, but it doesn't do the same thing for items 3 through 5. Yeah. So Advisor, if you're looking for someone to play with NetPlay on Mendefin, first, I would be interested in seeing how that even works. It might be good for testing multiplayer games. I'm sure Slinga and I would get some use out of it. But otherwise, I don't think anyone's actively trying to play games with other people over Mendefin. Yeah. So let's see the C file. So we have a few includes. We got Yaul, and then assert.h. Is that like a standard C library that you're including?
Yeah.
Okay. And then standard lib. And then menu.h. So is there an H file in here?
These are all they're not included within your project. They're embedded. The source files are located in the LibYaul folder, but when you do the build process for LibYaul, it installs it into the toolchain. So all these paths that you see with the angle brackets, those are those are to reference the paths to your toolchain.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
So this menu, you have a prescribed menu set of functions built into Yaul.
Open up the make file. Drag the make file into Notepad++. Okay, so you see on line 17 and 18.
Okay.
Right. Those two variables are added for this specific example so that you can load in the menu library. So you're linking in this library that I wrote.
Okay.
And it's called libmenu. That's why you have a menu.h file.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out where you stored that, and I'm guessing it's in...
Go back to, and you see where libmenu is?
Yeah. Okay. There's a C and H.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But just to be clear, this menu.h file is actually not the menu.h file that you're including into your project.
Okay.
And the reason is because this file in particular that you're looking at gets copied over to your tool chain. So so what I'm saying here is, let's say that you want to make a change to this header file. You want to add some kind of like defined or something. When you add it, and then you go back to your project and you try to compile, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see your changes. You actually have to build LibYaul in order to see the changes. So this is where Joe Engine and LibYaul are different. With Joe Engine, you effectively include the entire engine into your project, but LibYaul needs an extra step where you actually build the libraries and install them into your toolchain. If that does that make sense?
I suppose. So like, are you compiling this actively when you're building the game itself? Like,
you don't have to. The idea would be that the idea is that all these libraries and LibYaul as a whole are all already compiled, which is what's happening.
Okay, so menu.d is somehow getting included.
No, these files that you're looking at are local files. Go to the Yaul directory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then go to sh2eb-elf. All right, then go into sh2eb-elf. Go to lib. Okay, these .a files are pre-built Yaul archive libraries, so you don't have to compile lib menu. It's already been pre-compiled for you.
Okay, so then
you don't have to build Yaul.
Right. So we have lib. I don't know what BCLers or whatever.
It's for compression and decompression functions. And then libfiber is multi-threading, but green threads or fiber threads or fibers. I mean.
Yeah. So I'm not actually familiar with the with what that implies.
Yeah, you don't have to use them. They're optional.
Yeah. And then mic3d.
Yep.
What is that? Is that literally just?
That's the 3D engine.
So what's the engine part of that? Like, what does it handle?
It handles effectively the model transform, parsing the model, transforming the model vertices, creating the display list, and then actually DMAing the display list to the VDP1, and then calling Yaul functions. So mic3d lives on top of Yaul.
Okay, so that's effectively a big chunk of what we would use SGL for then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then for the let's say you have some ZTP support. I'm guessing that's built into the mic3d.
No, actually, I haven't yet checked this in because I have a private repo that I'm making a lot of changes in this private repo, okay. But what I do have, I don't recall, but could you go to the LibYaul directory?
All right.
and then go to Tools. Okay, it looks like I think this version is old, and that's I think I did check it in.
Huh? Yeah, this should be from October.
Yeah, it's pretty old then. So I'll just explain that in order to have ZPT or ZTP support, I wrote a tool that actually converts the ZTP file to something that Mic3D can understand. And the reason why I did that is for performance reasons. Simplicity. I don't actually want to support CTP directly.
Okay. So then, when, let's say you yourself were making a 3D game, what would be your pipeline?
Well, it depends. I would probably use ZTP, or right now I did have a demo entry for the competition, and I was using Romulos's SSV format. So the pipeline would be that at the moment, like something that I have actually done, has been using SSV.
Okay, so isn't SSV Shadow Jackal's tool, or is that something else?
No, that's something else. Or okay, what am I thinking? Sorry. No, you're right. SSM.
Okay, so yeah, so we have a dozen different standards flying around here. So from just as a quick tangent, let's go try to find. So who did the SSM format?
Romulo.
Romulo's. Geez.
I don't think it's public. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be yeah. So like at least ZTP is mostly public in that the version that's out there is usable.
Yeah.
Usable enough at least. Especially because what I'm trying to get at is like, we're kind of like passing around some custom tools to each other back and forth, and like XL2's giving me some private stuff. He's giving Ponut some private stuff. I'm sure you have the same stuff. Likewise, you're using Romulo's private tools. I'm wondering, like, for the person on stream right now, they have Blender open. They want to put their cube into the Saturn. What is the way that they have the access to do that? Like, presumably, Mic3D was written with a standard in mind that's not ZTP, because you did that before you wrote in ZTP compatibility.
I mean, really, I kind of want to say whatever tool exports. So just to be clear, the ZPT tool can convert two formats, right? The first one is the actual ZTP format, which is that binary file, and then there's another one that it outputs a C file, and it prints out a bunch of like SGL macros. And so if somebody were to want to use Mic3D, that's actually the route that I take sometimes, is I actually use a ZPT tool and then use the SGL output and then do a search and replace to the macros that are equivalent to Mic3D.
Okay.
So in reality, I actually designed the model format in C, and you can do the equivalent from SGLs to Mic3D. So I actually have an example. If you go to the LibYaul and you go to the VDP1-Mic3D, go to meshes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's look at mesh.h and then mesh cube.
Just look at look at the cube. Yeah, there you go.
So you're using. Why are you using fixed? No, these are fixed though. But you're.
Yes.
It looks like these are floating points.
Because it's a macro. These are compile time evaluations, and then they get converted over to fixed point.
Okay.
So you can kind of see that it's like very similar to SGL, right?
and you're using just arrays of, okay, so these are your vertices, and these are the normals.
Yep.
All these normals don't look correct.
Probably not. I don't actually use them right now because the lighting code is not correct.
But what about backface culling?
Backface culling is calculated during runtime.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're actively doing cross products of the vertices?
No. Well, yes, but I'm actually doing it in screen space. So even if I were to have normals for each face, I wouldn't use them because I wait until the very last minute to do backface culling.
Okay. And then these are the attributes are the equivalent of the SGL attributes. You just have them relabeled for your purposes.
Yeah, and these are more like, it's a little harder to understand, but it's a little bit more like direct. You're actually setting bits into the command tables, and then that plain type single is your backface culling.
Right. So let's let's go ahead and give this a compile and see how it behaves. It should just be a cube. Oh, advisor, I just saw your message. I don't know what you mean by mod, because you can get away with like just ODEs that don't really, I wouldn't really consider them mods because they're mostly slap in. But yeah, I'd say it's well worth it. The ODE is going to be the expensive part. But if you like playing Saturn at all, like I don't even like playing Saturn games. I don't like the library, but I still got an ODE just so I can dev with, and also so like a handful of games that I am interested in, they were worth my time to play. So there's the cube, and you've maxed some textures on the cubes, and that was another question I was going to ask: is your pipeline for just 2D 2D images and stuff? Because I've been working on my own tool set to try to get palleted sprites in, like pre-computed binary file for a palleted sprite, and it's probably not going to be ready for the competition. It's probably not going to be ready ever, considering how little time I've spent on it. But I am curious what you do to get graphics into the game.
It's not fully fleshed out. I can't really say, to be honest.
So
other than what you see there.
Yeah. So this is that's your palette. So these are palleted sprites, and these are indices for the palette data. So I'm guessing 101 is going to be white. Now, generally, I thought the first palette entry was supposed to be a your transparency color, right?
Not necessarily. If you go back to the mesh cube,
okay,
.c file, and then you look at the attributes. So each face has an attribute, right? I don't have it specified here, but if you see where it says .draw mode, there's a particular flag that allows you to disable the transparency index.
So here's draw mode 256. That's an actual palleted, because 32,000 is just full color RGB. So 256 transpixel disables true. So by default, that first pixel should be your transparency color, but here you're disabling it. Over here, you appear not to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But then I'm guessing for this one, this is one of those textures that you don't use that first color, because I didn't see any obvious transparency in that spinny cube.
No, you do actually. Run it again, and you'll see the the I don't remember the name of the game. I think Baku. Baku is the name of the game. I use that texture sprite.
Yeah, I think that's what the file said was Baku.
Yeah. You can pause execution on Metafin if you do Alt D.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I got the menu or the
And then press S.
S. Oh, okay. But then Alt D to turn it off.
And then R for run.
Well, okay. Let me get that back open because I was
Yeah.
just trying to look. Alt D again.
Sure.
R to run, and then S to stop it when I think it's ready. There.
Yeah, exactly.
Alt D. Now, so the transparency, that's the thing on the right there. So let me try to catch it again. And there. Nope. Come on. Nope. Too slow. Aha. There. So that's the one with transparent pixels on it, right? The weird bird looking thing?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing the transparencies are the blue part because that's also your background.
Yes.
All right. So then, yeah. So then that's also confirmation that the backface culling is operating as expected, because the faces on the back are not being shown up behind that. So we're looking straight through this, past the other 2 or 3 faces of the backside that we're not displaying, going directly to the blank background of blue that you default to on these things. Okay, let's start running this game again. So neat little tool in mend-defend for if you really want to just take a quick snapshot of what's going on. Alt D to open up your basically a view of the commands being run right now in assembly language or whatever machine code we want to call it. S, you could say S for stop, but it's really S for step, I believe, because I think we're just stepping to the next instruction being run. And then R to run in real time. But effectively, S is step or stop for us, so we can press Alt D again and see a still life version of what's going on here. Fun for making screenshots. Okay, so this has been highly instructive, and I think this is a good starting point for just doing stuff. So I think the one thing that's going to be an issue is people are going to have to build their own tool for turning graphics into this. Now, this is 15-bit color.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are indices. This is 15-bit color.
Well, I use SatConv, ndiddy's tool, and it's included in the project.
Yeah, I saw
it's
that.
included in LibYaul. And I don't recall which example uses it, but yeah.
So this looks like an uncompiled additional program.
Yeah, because the compilation go to the Yaul directory.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the sh2eb. Go to bin. You should see it.
Okay,
right
there we go. So let's try. So what I'm doing is let me pull up a new folder here. Let me go into my game dev reference projects, and I'm going to be working on a text-based game. But for a reference, I have some reference art. I have a plate of spaghetti. So let us go over to, let's see, I made a projects folder. Hello world. Let's just try SatConv example. Assets. Is that with 1 T or 2? I forget. Who cares? This is just a picture of spaghetti. Now, can it handle a JPEG, or do I need to give it a PNG or a TGA or what?
ndiddy only handles bitmap, BMP.
Bitmap. Okay, so that's easy. I'm in Windows. So Paint loves bitmaps. Let's do a BMP. There we go. Pasta.bmp. Oh, wait. Where did I save it?
24.
Where bitmap? Oh, why is it in Forsaken Plane? Oh, I must have been working on Forsaken Plane earlier. Okay. Pasta.bmp. Okay. Let's get rid of the JPEG. Now we have a bitmap. Nice and clean. Now, the problem with going from JPEG to bitmap is very likely I'm going to have severe artifacting on the edges here, and that's going to mess with my color space, I guess. Unless he does some color correction stuff inside of it already.
I don't think so.
And I didn't think so. I wouldn't be that lucky. So, that'll just come out in the wash. So, let's try it anyway. So, that over on the side. We go back to what was it? LibYaul tools. No, wait. Those are the wrong voice. sh2 elf bin SatConv. Now, do I just run this on its own, or do I need to send a command line or something like that?
Typically, you should have. I guess the way to work, the way to do it would be open up a command prompt. CD into not in there. Go up to the YAUL directory. Okay. Do a dir. dir. Yeah. Okay. Could you move the screen up, the console?
Yep.
Okay. There should be a batch file there, right?
Where?
Maybe scripts. Can you try scripts?
There's build LibYaul, and there's set environment.
Go back to the YAUL directory. And then type in call, CALL, space scripts / setEnv / but I guess it doesn't. Yeah, / okay. .bat.
Okay, what did that accomplish?
Okay, it pretty much sets up your environment. Now type in SatConv.
Not recognized. .exe.
That's weird.
I mean, I can just go directly and call it.
Yeah. Well, the idea here is that you shouldn't have to. That's right, kind of that. But if you want to, you can.
Let me see if that even worked. Like scripts, cd, or setEnv. It would help if this had a print statement attached to it so that I knew something was happening. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I need to be an administrator for that to even work?
No, I think open, just out of curiosity, open it up. Open up the batch file.
Okay.
In Notepad.
Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted.
Okay, so that Oh, I think.
I mean, I don't see
Here.
the bin folder being mounted anywhere or set anywhere here.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be the reason. I have. Yeah, I take that back. Maybe because I have my own batch file and I have it. I should talk with Danny and try to get him to see if he can update this batch file so that it gives you that flexibility. But I guess for now, just to test that it works, you see that, go back to the command prompt and you can call it directly, but do echo just to test echo space percentage. And then all uppercase YAUL underscore install underscore root. Sorry, one more ampersand percentage.
Ah, okay. So yeah, it's set up the environment in some fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So you can. So I mean, the idea is if the setconv batch file appended the bin directory, you would be able to call SatConv. So you can either use this variable to specify the path, which what end up happening is that path will work for everybody. So if you end up creating a script that calls SatConv, if you use this YAUL underscore install underscore root, everybody's path will be correct.
So let's just do that right now then. So let's do something like this. Let me just print it out here. So first, let me make sure that I'm in the right place. So it's going to be LibYaul / it's not tools, was it?
No. It's /bin.
No, it's going to be sh2 and then bin.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get that in here. And then so the YAUL root directory was that just YAUL capital? Like, okay, let me just Oh wow, that's an issue.
You really just need to specify /bin.
Okay, there we go. So let's just do YAUL bin.
Right, but yeah.
And let's just execute that inside a command prompt. That should just work.
Yes.
So it's YAUL root taken from that command prompt. /sh2eb-elf /bin. Oh crap! I just what happened? Dang it! There we go. Now, if I run SatConv and spell it correctly.
No. I think I see what you're trying to do. Go back to the batch file.
Yeah.
Okay. After line 30, let me type this into chat, into the Discord chat. Okay, I typed in the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, I grabbed
channel.
it. Okay. So then, if that was necessary here, how come it's not at the end of any of this stuff?
Because the reason is the make files themselves depend on the YAUL install root path. So everything is an absolute path. That's why.
Okay.
You'll notice, I can show you a little bit later to kind of like prove what I'm saying, but this is what you need in order to call SatConv directly from the command prompt.
Okay, so let's just start basically from the beginning, just as a timestamp here. We are trying to just set up the binary files for all the tools that are already available in the YAUL folder, or the YAUL suite, I guess. This stuff here that's in YAUL sh2eb-elf/bin. There's a bunch of executables here that we can use, including C++, GCC, all that stuff. And what we're trying to do is play with SatConv, which is ndiddy's tool. And so what we've written here is a little addendum to this batch file, but I'm just going to run it manually in the command prompt. So first, let me set YAUL bin with the root /sh2eb-elf/bin to set that folder name for YAUL root, and then, or sorry, for YAUL bin, and then we are going to set the path variable for Windows so that now we have an additional folder in our path environment, so that when we run stuff in command prompt, it looks for stuff inside of path as like default options. So now we should be able to run SatConv, and now it's running. The program is running. It's giving us an output. It's just we're not using it correct. So now, let's go over to the place where I have my plate of spaghetti .bitmap. So we need a .bmp. And then I'm guessing it's going to be SatConv pasta.bmp.
No, you need to set yeah. So the way ndiddy set things up is you have to specify an assets text file. So you have to create a text file.
Okay.
And just call it like assets.txt.
Is it 1T or 2? I forget.
2 S's and 1 T.
Okay. Assets.txt.
No, 1 T. Yeah. Okay. Inside, type in lowercase s at the very beginning. Space, and that's it. Save it.
Just lowercase s space?
And then the name of the file.
Okay. So what does the S stand for there?
Sprite.
Okay. Now, for some reason, my command line is acting all weird now, so I can't do anything.
Type. You'll have to close it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try it again. Well, I'll just open PowerShell from here anyway. Now that the binaries are in my environment, I should be able to do whatever I want, like this. SatConv.
No, it won't work.
Why?
Just try it. I might be wrong, but I don't think it's gonna work. You're gonna have to do it again. Yeah. So you'll need to go back and you need to call the setenv.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, whatever this is doing is temporary. Is
exactly.
Only for that. Okay. Well, then in that case, let me save this file with these lines attached. And then I will cd again. Where was it? LibYaul. It was sh yada yada yada. Ooh, where was it again?
It's in the scripts directory.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
Scripts directory. Okay, now we're gonna do setenv. Now PowerShell is kind of stupid in that it wants you to do .this to be, are you sure you want to run batch files in PowerShell? Okay, so now, I should have put a print statement at the end of that. Echo. Path, environment, set up. Do that again. I want something telling me. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so now let's go back to projects. CD. Wait. SatConv. CD sat. Okay. CD. There we go. So now we have assets.txt and pasta. Mm-hmm. So if we run SatConv in here, now why didn't that work? Is it because PowerShell is dumb?
Yeah, that's really weird. I would probably just use the command prompt, considering that we're setting a bunch of variables.
One would think that PowerShell would just be a better version of command prompt.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You can, just go ahead. Okay. Just type in SatConv right there before we end up having to go back.
I mean,
just in case.
Now it's doing something. So let's.
Okay, there you go. It works.
Project/SatConv example /6. There we go. Okay. So now I have an assets.txt with the file name that I want, pasta.bitmap. And pasta.bitmap is just right there. So if I run SatConv, is there an additional thing I need to add in front of SatConv in order?
You need to pass in the assets file.
Okay.
So it says right there the usage is SatConv space assets.txt. There you go.
Bad line. S pasta. Doesn't like pasta.
Sorry, I'm forgetting. Maybe go back to the assets file and type in, replace the S with S8.
As in 8.
Yeah, exactly. And then try it again.
8 color?
Yeah.
Like an 8 color palette?
Yeah. Just try it and see if it works.
I think 8 is too few colors. I think the 16 is the smallest I've ever seen, and that's like a clut.
Try that, yeah.
Doesn't like that either. Let's try 256. We know that's a thing.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
I might have, advisor. You know, surely ndiddy has written some documentation on this somewhere. ndiddy.
Yeah, go to there's a README file. No, I just go to yeah, you can, I guess you could use that, yeah.
No, you know what?
The README is inside the LibYaul directory.
Okay, let's look inside the LibYaul directory. I mean, it's not that, so we're gonna have to tools, SatConv, comment, readme.
So it's
8x8 tile. Oh, so he does some processing. That's interesting.
Do you want a sprite or do you want like tile data?
I want a sprite.
Okay, so okay, now I'm remembering. So it's the first two is S4 and SR is for RGB.
Let's try SR for now. Do full color.
Yeah. Okay, but the syntax is that you have to put the spaghetti file in a directory. So rename, take out, so in the assets file, remove the .bmp.
Okay, but where does it go then?
I'll show you. Go to your assets file, directory. Okay, and then create a folder named pasta. Okay, drag and drop the, yep, but then you have to rename that to 0.bmp.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the reason why he does that is because this allows you to have animations.
Okay, but it's not, I don't say pasta.bmp, I just say pasta.
Exactly.
All right. Presumably, that output is now in here. It's a .spr.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, this is straight up binary.
Yep.
How do we use that, though? Because that's not the...
So, there's two ways. Well, first, go to the README.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go down. Okay, so no, go up a little bit, and it describes just a tiny bit more. All right there. It says palette or RGB sprites, SPR format, RGB SPR file format. Okay, so effectively, what this is telling you is that the SPR file has metadata. And the first thing is that you notice the difference between the palette SPR file format and the RGB SPR file format is that the first 4 bytes is either a 0 or a 1. And then that helps you differentiate between a palette SPR and an RGB SPR. So, in other words, I can show you how to like actually load the SPR file, but here you have to parse it. You have to actually read it in and then extract out the actual data.
So do you have an example already of this happening?
I do, but what I ended up doing is that, well, so long story short is that I actually don't like the format. In that I don't like the SPR stuff added, and I've asked ndiddy if he could add like a raw option that just exports out the raw data, right? And the answer I think was pretty much no. He's not going to do that. So that's why SatConv is included in the Yaul directory or the tool.
I think you cut out there for a second.
Sorry. So the idea was that I forked the SatConv project in the tools directory so that I can add the option myself.
Okay. So really, what I was trying to get at here is like the fastest way just to get something on screen. But I'm looking around, and Pona caught this exactly the same time I did. You have a TGA here. People familiar with my stream are already familiar with how to make a TGA.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do that without having to do all this additional stuff? Because, I mean, we have the sprite file from SatConv, but if you don't have a readily available loader parser type deal going on for it, it's not super useful for a beginner to start tearing apart someone else's partially documented file format.
Right. So yeah, you can use the Targa files. You do need to set it up a tiny bit.
How so? Because I mean, these examples are here, right? Like,
right.
If I
so the way to do it is go to the make file for this project here, the normal bitmap.
All right.
Okay, and then you see where it says C flags and LD flags, line 18 and 19.
Okay.
You need to pass those into your own project.
Okay, how do I go about doing
dollar
that?
sign, just copy and paste into your example. So,
well, for right now, like if I just wanted to run this as is.
Oh, just go to build.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to get at. We're just trying to run examples
I
right
see.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just click on build.
Yeah. Trying to see a grapefruit. So this is VDP2. So we're loading basically, this is going into the background, and I'm guessing that it's only loading the first part of the image. So it's just filling up
pretty
the
much.
Background with whatever fits into, what is this, 320, 244, or what size background is this?
I think 224.
Okay. So it's just filling up a 320 by 224 section of VDP2 VRAM with part of a grapefruit. With the rest of the grapefruit. So the loading code is intelligent enough to just chop off this part of the grapefruit.
Well, no, it's if you open up the Targa and you can kind of see what the resolution is.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not doing a weird thing where it's not the right number of pixels, so it starts writing things in the incorrect places. Let me see, what is this? This is a 512 by 256.
Yeah. So it's actually the opposite of what you're saying.
It's actually exactly the right size. We're only seeing part of it.
Exactly. Because bitmap, exactly what Ponet is saying. Bitmaps are 512 by 256.
So we're literally
Yeah,
we're literally filling up VDP2 VRAM with this image.
Exactly. But
then where is your where's the thing where you actually parse out, because the TGA requires processing to parse it out.
Yes. So, scroll down.
Okay, so you have a macro here. But that's just your background color. So
the stream is a little blurry. But I think you're selecting a function called TGA _ image decode. Yeah. So that's it. That's one. Well, there's line 73 to 78 are pretty much all the functions you need. All the code you need in order to like parse out the TGA file.
Okay, and then for RGB sprites, the same should follow for a VDP1 RAM address, and I'm certain that there's another example of that right next door. So
I believe so. I don't recall whether I've ever used TGA for sprites.
Okay, we got bitmaps all over VDP2 here, so that's there. But VDP1 drawing...
Try VDP1 zoom.
VDP1 zoom sprite. Yep. Okay. And your assets are text file.
Right there. Yeah. Yeah, so these are raw files. like raw VDP1 data.
Okay. Let's get out of that because nothing I have is going to be able to read that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So then, if I were to change this address, well, I mean, we'd have to add some different code because we'd also have to add a method to draw it. So is there there's not an example then of TGA loading into VDP1 to draw a sprite then?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would say like this is one of the problem with all of this is that the Yaul project is it's not tied down to like a very specific pipeline because everybody it gives I don't want to spend the time to like write up a very fixed pipeline, even though that would be the easiest for everyone. This is ideally every project should have like its own custom pipeline because typically you would write your own file formats anyways. You're going to end up writing your own like tools, and along with that you would have your own pipeline set up. So that's why I don't have anything like hyper specific, and that's what I end up doing anyways. Really, I end up like kind of creating my own pipeline for my own private projects for one of the compo entries that I was working on, and then eventually like it like devolves into, or it evolves into something hyper specific to the project itself, rather than it being kind of like a catch-all.
I mean,
That's kind of like the downside with the approach that I'm taking, in that you kind of have to write your own. Yeah, that's
right. But if you have made tools to this effect, at least you can offer it as like an option, is what I'm saying. Because for 99% of projects, the only project out there's two projects out there that requires tools for performance reasons, and that's Ponent's project and XL2's project. Everyone else can get away with boilerplate implementations. Like, nothing I've done has been so unperformant because of my usage of outside tools that I absolutely needed to change something fundamental with that. All of my performance issues have been self-inflicted due to physics. So, like, things like just getting a basic sprite on screen, if there's one prescribed way of doing it, because we have SatConv, but we don't have code readily available in the LibYaul examples to take advantage of SatConv. And then we have TGA loading, but we don't have TGA loading on VDP1.
You do have projects that actually use SatConv directly. Go to DBGIO-font.
Okay.
Should be, yeah, that one.
But,
okay.
So I don't see any sprite files in here, though.
Go back. Go to work. There you go.
Let's see what's in here. So this is a font sheet, I guess, for the game to use.
And then so go open up Makefile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is pretty much like probably the most complete project that makes use of SatConv. So you can see all that work right there. Well, the first part is, lines 10 to 12 includes the actual assets, and then these two files, the .cpd, .pal, those files are actually generated during build time. So if you scroll all the way down to line 33, you can see that this is the actual processing that happens. You can see right there that I call SatConv.
Okay. So that's not normally the way I would run. Like, normally I would process assets separately so that I know what I have. But yeah, I understand why this is doing it the way it's doing it.
Right. It's a little, the reason why this is also the why I did that, if you notice that there's a Python script called strip TLE, I mean. And that's what I was mentioning, is that I was removing the format.
You're chopping off the header, the first bit
exactly, pretty much.
bits, yeah.
And then also, there's an extra script in there that converts the CPD file from 4 BBP to 1 bits per pixel. And that's an extra thing that I need to do in order to get the font to load. And that's something that SatConv doesn't support directly. And why should it? It's hyper specific.
Okay, yeah, but people are going to I mean, you're saying it's hyper specific in the broader sense that anytime you're drawing something, in all likelihood, you're going to want more than 2 colors. However,
exactly.
all games are going to require fonts of some kind, of some sort of text output, and everyone tends to use something like SLPrintf or something like that. But this is like one of those tools where it's like just having one version of a pipeline available simplifies things for a lot of people, because people are going to want to be able to do something.
Right.
So like just an example, like this is the wrong folder. So like this asset is probably not the best example of what I would do, because this is not ASCII standard. Like this is not in the ASCII order, I believe.
No, it is. It is.
Is it though? Because
yes.
I mean, up to a certain point, like from like maybe here to here, looks like it. But actually, let me pull up.
No, that looks like all ASCII, man.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Yeah.
Now let me pull up Forsaken Plane, because I have in Forsaken Plane, I have the an ASCII standard thing. Let's see.
Oh, just to answer Ponet's question in the chat, we do have TGA target loading. One of the examples has target loading. But
that's in VDP2.
Yeah, in VDP2. The only thing is I just need an example with target loading for VDP1. But everything you need is all there. You just have to kind of like put it together.
So, just one. I'm just trying to pull up my old. Let's see, game dev Saturn, I believe, was it? Projects, and then Forsaken Plane is going to be an older file. If I even have it, it might be in a different Joe environment or something. Like Forsaken Plane is such an old project for me that the first build of it, I might have actually. It's somewhere in my files, but I don't remember where it's at. There we go. So I have an ancient Forsaken Plane font line in here. There we go, fonts.tga. So there's a target file, but what I have for this, if I can freaking scroll in at some point. Oh, geez. Whoa. So I started out at exclamation, quote, ampersand, blah, 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 go down, 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 lowercase, and I ended at tilde. Now we're just... Okay. So then this stuff extended beyond it. I guess I never actually considered adding, similar to the stuff before. Okay, I guess I do agree with this then. I wasn't used to seeing all those extra stuff. But this is the font that I prepared for Forsaken Plane V1.
Yeah.
And the Joe engine has a methodology of just loading all this in. Actually, I don't think I even used Joe engine's methodology. I think I used Ponut's TGA loading code and just made my own. I just treated it like a sprite sheet, and I just enabled the frame for the ASCII offset, like 32 plus whatever. All right. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, I think, like, for Yaul to be immediately useful to the standard, beginner game developer, we need an example of TGA palleted and RGB being loaded in, because very quickly you run out of VRAM if you're doing everything RGB. Like Forsaken Plane required TGA palleted in order for it to work properly the first time around, and that was very early on. So like I would have those two examples, and then also like an example of just using Pone sound if it doesn't exist already.
No, actually, that's a good idea. I should actually add a sound option or an example using Pone sound.
Yeah, we
But
just
try,
need CDDA and then one PCM sample, and that's all you need.
yeah, that's a good idea. Run the DBGIO font project.
Yeah, sure.
It should work. Okay.
Luckily, for the project I have in mind to try to like do a last minute quickie project for the competition, I only plan on doing a text based NetHack clone. So I'm guessing this is the totality of the test.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So where's the most like basic example, like the hello world of just basic system output?
The most basic example, I would probably say,
like literally print statement.
Honestly, I would really just say like the C++ example.
Really?
Yeah. Because all of it is just like, this test was just sort of like, can I even like compile and run C++? And
I think you cut out there for a second there.
Oh, sorry. Before you pressed anything to exit, you see that there's like a bunch of like different CPP, C file extensions, and that was just really just sort of like testing out different people's use of executables. So this is pretty much it. Like all of this is just like dumb tests, but really the crux of it is that it just prints stuff onto the screen. And that's all you really need. So if you open up C++.cxx, right?
So DBGIO outputs. Okay.
Yeah, you can just remove practically. Yeah, that's your print, and you can. So if you were to remove pretty much like, let's how about this, let me go line by line and I'll tell you what to remove. Lines 106.
Let's I don't want to touch the examples folder. The examples folder is going to exist as it is. So let me clean. All right. And literally, I'm just going to find the most baseline example of a hello world. Now, DBGIO puts should just be a C function, so presumably I shouldn't need to use all the C++ inclusions there.
Exactly.
Okay. But for now, let's look at this file and then close everything out behind it, just to make sure I don't get confused. Standard lib, y'all. We got some buffers here we could probably get rid of.
Yep, remove those.
All right. Foo and bar and all these classes can go because we're not using any of these. I don't know what this template's doing, but it looks like it's a macro that I don't need. All right.
Remove the function overload.
All right. Static references, I don't think I need either.
Yep, remove those as well.
So let us, okay. So we need to, okay, let's start commenting this in my style of comment. Main function, and then there is no main loop in this.
No, but we'll add one.
Yeah. So initialize input output, and this okay, this is still part of the initialization.
Yeah. So there's two parts to DBGIO. Well, first, DBG stands for debug, right? And there's two parts to it. The first one is you want to initialize DBGIO, and that's line 18. The second part is you have what's called devices or drivers, and this allows you to specify to initialize the driver that you want, which in this case here, we're going to be using the VDP2 asynchronous driver. And I'll explain a little bit what the difference is, because there's a synchronous version, and that one requires a little bit more code. The idea here is that if you need to change the DBGIO to, like, say, display to VDP1, then you don't have to change the actual functions, DBGIO puts or printf. You just change the driver. So ideally, you could change this during runtime. I have another driver that allows you to output to Mednafin output and USB cart. So if you were to run this on real hardware and you were to change the device from VDP2 async to USB cart, you could output to, like, through the USB cart. And this ideally allows you to have your own version in case you ever need to implement something, right?
Right. And in theory, I would probably want to send my debug statements to Mednafin the way I dev. However, what I'm proposing here is a literal black and white text-based game. And so in this case, it's not debug, it's actual output. So I'm going to stick to drawing directly to VDP2.
Exactly.
This is print statement.
There's a way, just FYI, there's a way to actually use printf and put C and all that. And you don't have to call DBGIO, but we can work on that later.
Well, I mean, can I use DBGIO with...
Yeah, you can just call DBGIO puts. That's fine. Or
printf. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, can I specify where to print?
So yes, but it's a little bit different. I'll go ahead and show you, like, how. Just try to just clean up the source code first, and then I can show you.
Okay. Now I know I need these last three things. Can you explain to me what the flush is for?
Yes, but remove first for the printf. Remove all those max arguments, because you're going to get a compilation error.
Okay, let me just try to do 1, 2, and the letter E.
Yep. Okay, so what flush means is very similar to, like, how standard output works in, like, a C program, where by default there's buffering. So in a regular C program, like what you would run on Linux, you would call printf, but when you call printf, you're not really writing directly onto, like, the device, like the terminal, right? Instead, you're writing to, like, some kind of buffer. And the standard C library is a lot more, like, intelligent with the way it does things, where it determines, like, when to actually take the buffer and then flush it. But I don't do that because it's pointless to do so, right? It's just overhead that's unnecessary. So instead, by default, printf along with putS are buffered in HRAM. There's a buffer that's allocated through those initialization functions, and then when you want to actually draw onto the screen, you have to call DBGIO flush. Does that make sense? So the reason why this is important is because you don't want to do printf and then write directly to VDP2, right? You might not be ready for that. it's going to be slow, and you're going to get like screen tear, and so. But there's a little bit of a caveat also in that DBGIO flush doesn't actually draw onto the screen. The second two functions, line 34 and line 35, actually do the drawing. The asynchronous part from DBGIO, the VDP2 async device driver, what it does is it just queues up a DMA transfer, and then VDP2 sync flushes that DMA queue, and that's why it's asynchronous. So in other words, you need DBGIO flush, and then you need to do a sync, and then you do a sync wait for frame change.
Okay.
This is like similar to SL sync.
Yeah. So then this would be the equivalent of SL sync down here.
Yes.
But VDP2 sync is actually sending.
Yeah. I mean, I won't get into the details, but like there's another flag that gets set, and really the DMA queue gets flushed in the VBlank interrupt handler. But yeah, I mean, pretty much VDP2 sync says sync with the VDP2, and this avoids screen tear, things like that. I would just say like synchronizes, yeah.
VDP to VRAM to get an idea of what we're waiting to happen. And then we have a wait for frame. User init, does that happen anywhere?
Yes, so that's actually called, so that's a weak function, and it's called inside the initialization before main. So it's kind of like the same idea as main. Who calls main? It's an initialization function called start, and start calls main, but before start gets called, user init gets called. So user init runs before main does.
I just want to change something real quick, and I'll just do like a cycle counter. So uint, let's call it a 16 is equal to 0. I should probably call it something.
You need all lowercase.
Oh, okay. Good catch.
No, the uint 16.
Yeah, I know. That's...
And then, sorry. And
again, remember,
T.
you are on a significant delay. So if you tell me what's going to happen, I will fix it as you're talking, rather than you don't have to wait for the thing to show up on screen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, so this is just for me to know that we are inside of a loop. So let's actually, main is being called, and that is entering the game. So if we set up a loop here, main loop while 1, then oh, this is your game loop. And you have while true. Well, I mean, it'll do the same thing, but there we go. And this looks fine to you, though, right?
Yeah. Well, for line 27, after the 16, you need an underscore T.
I don't remember ever doing that, but okay. And then %D will still display that correctly.
Yes.
All right. So then this user init stuff. Let's, again, commenting in my style.
Yeah.
User initialization. And you're saying runs automatically before main initialize, or basically let's call it a core initialization
Yeah, and so just to be clear, like if you really don't like this like user underscore init, kind of like what Ponet is saying is very strange. It's you don't actually have to implement this function. You can move those three functions, these three VDP2 functions, and you can move them up to main, and the same thing will happen. It's just it's completely identical.
All right. So do I need to declare this at all in this?
And user init? No, I just do it.
No, do I need to declare the function user init at all? Can I?
No.
Okay, so I can delete.
Remove it.
All right. So let's do this, because I like knowing that main is the first thing to happen, because it makes sense to me. That's how I'm used to doing it. System initializations, if I can spell. All right. And then we're going to rename this to like main.c or something and fix the make file to reflect that. So first off, I told you I was interested because it's a text-based game. I want as many characters on screen as possible. What would be the initialization to get? Well, actually, no. Let's leave this like this for now, and then we'll do that in a second. So this is. Oh boy, I butchered that. Initializations. Okay. And this is. Resolution, and this is default color, and then this is turn on display, I'm guessing. So you like bluish. I'm going to set it to black because let me just pull up a screenshot of what I'm talking about. NetHack. Just have the working title of like pasta hack or something. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be drawing text in layers on top of each other inside the buffer before sending it to print. So I will probably want to end up trying to do things like color. Can you do color text output with DBGIO?
You used to be able to, but not anymore. But you could enable it. I want to say yes, but also no. I don't recall, but you can add it. I did have support for it a while back.
Is there a separate print function that you would use to do something like that instead?
No, you would use the same one, but you would have to re-implement it yourself.
I'll see how it works with just simple black and white. Like color is good to make things pop, but if it's not like immediately available as useful, then I won't bother.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is a memory address.
Yep.
Okay. Isn't there like a constant, like one of these, that we can put in there instead to make it clear what memory address that is?
What do you mean?
Like this. I don't know what this points to.
So look, the macro says VDP2 VRAM.
Yeah.
And the first argument is the bank number. So it's B1. 3 is for B1. And what this all means is just simply it's setting the back screen to the very last 2 bytes of VDP2 VRAM. Okay. It's bank B1, B as in boy.
So it's going to be like big A1, A2, B1?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And since each bank is about 20,000 bytes in hex, that's what it is.
Okay. So let me actually
sense?
Explicitly write this. Bank A0, A1. Forgot programmers don't know how to count properly. There we go. Now, is this explicitly correct, or is this last 2 bytes of the bank, or last 2 bytes of?
It's technically the last 2 bytes of the B1 bank, but technically it's also the last 2 bytes of VRAM.
Oh, okay.
like I said, it's the last 2 bytes of VRAM.
But there's an importance to describing the thing that you're referencing for the purpose that you're referencing. So the reason why we're putting this is not because we explicitly want the last 2 bytes of VDP2 RAM, but it's because we are working with bank B1 and we want the last 2 bytes of bank B1.
No, not necessarily. It's because B1 is the very last. So there's 2 things. One is that the VDP2 VRAM, it's split into, by default, Yaul splits it into 4 banks, right? A0, A1, B0, B1. And all these 4 banks are contiguous, right? So if you were to specify, for example, just for argument's sake, VDP2 VRAM adder 0, 0, that would be the very first byte of bank A0, because it is the first byte of VDP2 RAM. But since bank B1 is the very last bank, we want to specify the very last 2 bytes of VDP2 RAM. That's why we're specifying B1.
Okay.
So you could just specify this macro just calculates the last 2 bytes. You're just specifying it in a way that just sort of like, I guess, makes it a little bit more verbose, rather than like just specifying like a hard-coded address.
Okay. Well, anyway, so okay, so let's just write in the reason for it. So setting the background color via the end VDP2 VRAM, essentially. I should say use display. Okay, I think this is enough for us to try to compile. So let us, well, I mean, no, first we have to play with the makefile, right? Because I said that we're going to turn this into main.c instead. So let's open main.c. It's what we just did. And then the makefile, I'm sure we have to change that. So instead of C++, is it GCC, or how do we reference that?
That's just the name of your program.
Oh.
Remove all the source files and just replace it with main.cpp. And you can change the name of the program to be like Hello World or whatever you like.
All right.
But I guess just to start, lines 12 to 15, remove them. Yep. There you go.
Then this should work.
Yep.
Okay. And then can I also just get rid of these 3 files right here?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. And run with Vendifed. Now we're expecting the letter E and a number that keeps continually increasing. Oh. So 2 problems here. First, well, 3 problems. Okay, if we're going to get super picky. First, I wanted the font color to be white. So that's something I'm going to have to set somewhere. Second, this I++ does not seem to be doing anything. And then third, DBGIO is printing a new line each time, which...
Right, okay. So the reason why the cycle counter keeps printing 0 is because you're resetting the I variable at every loop.
Okay, you are correct. That first one's on me. Okay. Second thing is this thing. I want to be able to specify an exact location for it to print out.
Right. Okay. So let's get to that. I would open up a. Give me 1 second and let me look something up real quick.
Okay, sure. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna take like a half-minute bathroom break, so I will be right back. Okie dokie, I have returned. To answer your question, Anaheim, this is not a sound check. Sorry I didn't get to you sooner. I was in the middle of trying to figure stuff out. I don't know if Mr. Coffee, if you're still here, I see what you have done. And so I will include that. So we have a clear screen with some regex magic, I'm guessing.
So if you were to look at like a NetHack game, that like a simple one that runs on Linux, I'm fairly certain these are the actual commands that you would use to control the screen.
You don't happen to have a similar looking flag for color correction, do you?
Yeah, this is where color support comes in, and it's exactly the same way that you would do it in a NetHack game. The problem is that I don't actually do anything with the color commands. So you can specify what colors you want, but I ignore it pretty much.
Okay. And in order to even address something like, well, first before we get that far into the weeds, let's try running this. So let's build. It does not like this at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to specify. I'm sorry. 1 second.
Okay, I'm not going to bother running that because I think you're fixing what you wrote earlier.
Okay, I fixed it.
Oh yeah, you forgot the whatchamacallit, open bracket type deal. Okay, now let's try building and running. Oh, I see why you didn't put an output statement, because you're running set environment every freaking time. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, based off what you said earlier. Okay, so this, save for the yellow, this is exactly what I expected. Now, you have yellow. Yellow was a conscious decision on your part. What?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Therefore, there is code somewhere inside where you specified this color, and presumably calling that code again with a slight modification would allow me to just do it something different. Just manually change the color.
I want to say no. There is no function for you to set the color.
Well, okay, let's go. Where do you actually define this yellow? And we'll just take a look at it.
Sure. So if you want to hack it, if you want to hack it, then go to LibYaul. Inside the actual LibYaul directory. That one right there.
Okay, the second one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go to kernel. DBGIO.
Assume the .c.
Okay. Okay, so that's not where. That's the public API. Go back to and then go to devices. Go to VDP2. Open that up. Okay, and then go back and then open up VDP2 async.
The dot include?
Yeah, that's a C file. Okay, so okay, sorry, go back to VDP2.c. Okay. Keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down. Just keep going down.
Now recall, there's going to be a several second delay, so it would be easier if you told me what line you were talking about.
I don't actually remember. I'm trying to remember.
I assume it would be like some sort of hex thing like this, but it would have to be RGB 15 or something similar. Or
yeah. Let me take a look.
Wonder if I'm going to get lucky by typing in call. No, because that also means column. It could be CL. I mean, it would help if these had comments. Okay.
Okay, I go back. Go back to the Windows Explorer.
No.
And then go back up one directory.
Okay. The game, I will tell you that is incorrect, and I'll explain why after we're done finding what we're trying to find.
go to font.
Mm-hmm. Is it font or default?
Default.
Okay.
Okay, scroll all the way down.
What am I looking at?
You're looking at the actual font. Okay, that's your palette right there. So you see that right there? It says 11 for yellow, 12 for blue, which is really just the background. You want to change that 11 to 15. Yep.
Okay. That's a nice default. But is there not a way for me to directly access this and play with it?
Yes, you can change. So I think your original question was that is there like a single function that just like lets you set the color? And the answer is no. But if you remember, there was an example called DBGIO-font. That example allows you to modify, allows you to change the font. But the thing about that example is that it's pretty convoluted in like how much initialization you need to do. There's a very specific reason for that. Like just scroll down just to kind of get the gist of it.
So, but this is like using a sprite-based font.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to play around. This is just like a full-on customization. Like this is what this is like customizing the font, customizing the size. But to be honest, like I have to think about like how to approach this where you can like modify just like the basics of the default font. I just don't have that in place right now.
So what I'm getting at is it possible for me to, even if I have to flush the buffer multiple times somehow or something like that, to just access default font or whatever this is called .fgpal, set it to a different number, draw one character, and then push that up to the buffer, and will that character actually do something different for just that one character?
No. No, yeah. you need to do like substantial amounts of changes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, the easiest thing to do is, so a lot of this like DBGIO, as you can guess, is like it gets you the ability to like print stuff onto the screen, USB card or Menafin output, whatever you want, right? But it's not really meant for like game output, like a game font.
Yeah.
And so even though you can probably like get away with like 99% of like what you need except for color, if you just want to have like a simple, if you just kind of want to get up and running, DBGIO is the way to go. But chances are you're probably going to want to implement your own custom font loader.
Okay, and I get it, and then I can palette swap or whatever.
Exactly, and it's for your needs and stuff, and then you can specify.
It just feels a little bit artificial because I'm specifically going after like a terminal output monospace type deal,
right.
Which like how it was actually, how it actually was done. Right. So I think I'd be easier on me because I'm specifically trying to make a game without any sprites at all, just to do that as an exercise. I'm just going to do all white, and I'm going to do a better job at choosing characters that pop out more to make it more obvious what you're looking at.
Right.
And I think versions of NetHack operate like, and if not NetHack, then Rogue. So let's type in a Rogue game. So like this is also valid.
Right.
Oh, geez. Freaking. So I can just do that. And it's pretty obvious, like when you're going through a corridor or whatever, it's a corridor, and when you're in a room, the question mark is something The asterisk is something, and you are, I think you're the @. No, you're the @. So yeah, I think I could work with what we have here. Let me just run with men. Oh, geez, that's not what I meant to click. Let me run with Medvin and just see that it's doing the thing that we asked it to do. And I think we've addressed almost everything. And there's just like one more thing I want to implement, and then I think we'll call it a stream because it's close to 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's still yellow. Did I not save or something?
So that's the thing. You need to recompile LibYaul.
Ah. Okay.
That's another stream.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so whatever change I do, it's not like Joe. Whatever changes I do here, they don't mean anything.
Exactly.
So and I can't. Are you sure I can't just directly access this in the initialization function? Can it?
Yeah, you could. Well, I have to think about it, but like I mentioned, that there is actually a way for you to hack it by writing a single line of code in your program. It's you writing directly to VDP2 CRAM.
Oh.
Yeah. So how about this? Do a for loop of 16.
Okay, where?
No, just right there. Just line 36. Just do a for equals
0 16. I forgot what the plus key was.
Okay. Inside. Inside type all uppercase memory _ write. Okay. Open parentheses. Inside 16. The number 16. Yeah. Comma.
Yeah. Remember, you're on a delay, so you can just keep going.
Oh, okay. VDP2 _ CRAM, all uppercase. Okay. And then open parentheses 0, 0, J, close parentheses. Okay. And then comma after the argument, yeah, right there. And then type in hex 0x 4 Fs. FFFF. Yep. Okay. Save it and then actually, sorry. Let's just to be sure it works. Take those right before the right at line 36. Do VDP2 sync, and then VDP2 sync wait. Right before line 36. Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying to do this is because
wait for this to load up.
I don't actually, yeah, just to make sure that like the font and everything gets like loaded in, and then you make your change, and then you can continue.
Okay, let's give that a shot.
Okay.
And then to the game, to address your previous comment, even with perfect code, you need comments in order for people to understand how to use it if they ever need to go down into the details, which is something that's happened more than once on stream. Whoop. Was it CRAM? I mean, you see the error. Do you see what's going on here? Line 40?
Oh, I'm sorry. For CRAM, after CRAM, specify _ adder, ADDR.
Okay. address. Right. Okay, yeah, the game, I get it, but I just, it's a point that comes up often in this community, and I just want to communicate it for the record, for people that are coming in here, especially when they're writing their own code and they plan on sharing it, like Sensigalo has done, where he's come in and played with other people's tool sets, like he plays with Joe Engine, he releases code for people to make stuff in Joe Engine. It's very important to, especially for the examples, have comments built in so that people are able to interpret what's going on, and not only how to do a certain thing, but why that certain thing is structured the way it is.
Okay, right. check the chat.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Once more with feeling. So we've just, like, we probably didn't need to do every single freaking one of those palette overwrites. We probably could have just gone directly to address 11 and done that. We didn't need the for loop. Am I correct in saying that?
Sorry, it wasn't. I didn't hear that.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because it didn't work. We probably should sync after the loop too, right? Like, does that make sense?
No. Oh, I know why. I know why. Like, when
the game, that approach just opens you up to even more problems, because then people are going to use your tool, and then they're just going to come, whether we want to or not, they're going to come ask you for help on your tool. So this isn't even a matter of a should thing. This is a what's going to happen thing. And what's going to happen is you release a tool, and it's underdocumented, and then people just try to use your tool, and then what ends up happening is that you keep getting the same questions over and over again. When the questions can often be avoided with documentation. What the hell is 127?
I'll explain a little bit later, but
okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It becomes your problem because people are going to constantly message you for help on the tool that you've released. Okay, why 127? Why did that work?
So the reason is because by default, in the similar idea as setting the back screen color, using the last 2 bytes of VRAM. In this case, I'm also using the last 16 color bank of CRAM. That's why. So in other words, we were overwriting the wrong area in memory.
So now, secondary question. I'm going to want to be able to specify these numbers. So then, is that something that printf can do automatically? Like if I do this, %d, like can I rewrite this like this and have it operate the same way? Oh wait, that's that.
That's a good question.
Well, let's try it. It compiled. That's a good sign. I mean, it probably shouldn't not compile. Like there shouldn't be a text sequence that causes it to break, but
it just depends on the order.
It does. It did the thing. So
okay.
Here, check it out. So this is your move output to X location command.
Try just setting an I just for fun. See what happens.
To what?
Set the X X value right there to I. Yeah.
Okay, so this X is the row, right?
Yes.
How many
It should be.
rows? Like let's do this so it doesn't just immediately run off the screen.
No, actually, that's fine. It won't. It won't. I handle that case, so you can remove that.
All right, man, if you say so.
I think you're right, actually. Shit.
I mean, we're gonna see it for a hot second.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just do it.
I forget how many. It's like 24 rows. I want to say by default.
It's 40.
40 rows. That's
yeah.
40.
Yeah, 320 by 8 divided by 8. I mean,
40 columns by Oh, okay. So you figured it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's 20. It's
20 something.
20 rows, 40 columns.
Actually, if we go to emeraldnova.com, we can get the exact. Let's see. Get started. Line 30. So it's 30 rows, 0 to 29. At least in the standard 320 by 224.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, it's 224 is 28.
And I'm guessing your buffer is oversized, so that's why it's off screen for a little bit. All right. So one more just for funsies compilation, but I do want to. The last thing I want to do tonight is get this thing in high def, or like the Saturn equivalent of high def, high res. Okay. And keep in mind, everyone watching at home, the overscan on your TV is very likely a line to a line and a half if you're playing on a CRT or anything like age appropriate for the Saturn. So any sort of printout that you want to do, you want to start on line 1 and end on line 28. And then I would also give yourself 1 or 2 characters of wiggle room. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Does it look choppy on your end?
I mean, it's going to be choppy to an extent in that there's no smooth transition. It's going from line to line, but also you're watching on a stream.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's severe artifacting.
Sure. So go down to change the resolution. Or I'm sorry, go up. Go up.
Yeah.
Okay. Change the interlace from none to double.
Interesting.
And then change normal A to normal B. That will give you 704 by 448, I believe.
So this is standard def. Okay, and then this is going to be high res. Okay, so double interlace, and what was the second thing?
Normal A to normal B.
And then the last one should be something different, right?
If you want 240, or yeah, 240.
Is that really? I mean, are we doing widescreen or what's going on?
This should be 704 by 480.
Oh, dang. Okay. Let's see if this works.
Hopefully it works. I don't really mess with high resolutions all too much. It's kind of flaky.
I mean, if it's a text-based game, how bad can it be?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, that's
Is it corrupted?
I don't think it's corrupted. I think the interlacing that first off let's turn off that for funsies thing, and also do a okay. So then the first is the row, the second is the column, if I recall correctly. Whoops. And let me okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's build and run. Interesting. Okay, so I have to self-censor my inputs because
we can't see anything on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. First off, here, it's this. So the first thing that prints out is not printing out as I wanted. And the second thing that I printed out, I thought I was sending it to line 1.
The reason why, here, look at the code that you wrote.
Yeah.
Line 56 is I forgot to tell you that the ASCII control sequences doesn't start on 0, it starts on 1. So what you're doing is you're actually overwriting the line. Yeah.
Let's try that.
And that one is 2. Exactly. Yep.
So why is it that in that special case it starts at 1?
It's just how it is with ASCII control sequences. It's probably some like historical reason with terminals and stuff.
Okay. A, B, C,
Could you
D.
move the window down a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I really ought to set the defaults on this to be more convenient for me. So yeah, this is very difficult to read. It's all squished. And is that how it's going to come across on the TV as well?
Probably. You know, what I was thinking is the idea of using like high resolution isn't going to work out too well. Instead, why don't you do it in a way where internally you keep the whole map and you only display like what you're actually viewing? Is that possible?
No. That's not my issue. My issue is going to be, what if I want a little bit of ASCII art in there? So let's yeah, let's go back to the pasta. All right. Game dev projects, pasta hack references. There we go. So we got.
I actually do have to go now.
Okay.
It's almost 10 o'clock.
Okay. Well, just one last thing, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. ASCII art, gen. There. And no, not that. Jeez. Image to ASCII. There we go. So if I want to add a little bit of ASCII art to this thing, I want to be able to display something like that, right? But that's going to require, what I have right now is what, 43 characters? Or yeah. So this is the biggest thing I can display on screen, more or less. And that's the reason I was trying to get at a higher resolution. But I see what you're saying. Like if it's going to be basically unreadable, then better to not. And
yeah,
what I would like to ask for you as a favor is there like a listings of different resolutions setups that I can? I guess you're just going to point me to the VB2 manual, right?
Yeah, I mean, like right now I'm actually working on like the whole sync code, synchronization code, and I'm seriously contemplating on like just making it a lot easier in the way that SGL does it, because I don't really gain anything from nobody really gains anything from specifying 3 arguments for a screen resolution. So chances are I'm probably going to do it exactly in the way that SGL does it.
Yeah,
so you'll be able to do something like
there's only certain prescribed ways of doing that.
Yeah,
based
exactly.
On the BDP. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
The only thing I haven't been able to figure out, I guess the implication is there that if you specify TV underscore 704x 480, the implication there is that you're enabling double interlace, right?
If that's the only way to do it, then yeah, it the Saturn can only operate in certain regards.
Right. So I'll probably have an update on that, maybe in a couple of weeks.
Okay. What I would suggest on behalf of not only myself but any new users coming along is, just like Ponut said, I think the top priority for a new example should be TGA into display. You have a TGA parser there. Just show how to do it with BDP1 style sprites. Do it with an RGB, and do it especially with a palleted. If you can't do it, if you're going to choose one, do it with a palette, because you're going to run out of room with RGB very quickly.
Right.
And that would be my top priorities would be TGA, VDP1 example, Pone sound example, and then other stuff like this. And I would say that would be the most useful thing to do. For now, though, I think I technically have enough stuff to make a game. I would prefer that I had access to something like like Pone sound. So if there's a Pone sound example, if someone with y'all has used Pone sound before, I'd appreciate if you point them in my direction or point me in their direction.
I can, if I have time. So I've used the sound driver, and so has Romulo, and I think someone else has used it, and it's pretty straightforward to get it up and running, especially if you already have a pre-compiled version, right? But I can get I can probably get an example going. The only issue though is that I think that with Yaul I've had to specify custom loading, and then also I think the header file needed to be cleaned up, I think, but that's I'll figure that out. It's pretty straightforward. It's not that hard. It really, the gist of it is you're just loading a binary file to sound RAM, and then you set up the proper interrupt handlers, and then you write to some area in memory, and then that's it. But I'll try to get an example going, because you're right, that is important. Okay. Okay, I do have to go.
No. And I'm ending stream anyway. So thank you for coming along. Sure. I'm gonna get this ripped down to my server, timestamp it, and hopefully sometime in the next couple of days it'll be up. And I think this will be a useful timestamp tutorial for. I mean, obviously it's a little bit messy. We should do this again cleaner. But this is a good timestamp tutorial for people to get into Yaul, because everything I did today, I did using what's available on GitHub.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So thank you, Mr. Kotfw and Knight0fDragon, for coming along. I'm ending stream. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, even though there's only 3 of you left. Good night, everyone.
Okay, good night.